Here is Genesis 1:1 in Hebrew. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The middle word in this sentence, this two-letter word, et, spelled aleph tav, is not translated. It's an untranslatable word in Hebrew grammar. It indicates the direct object. Et is made up of the first and last letters of the Hebrew alphabet. It is a hint of Jesus. In the first chapter and again in the last chapter of the book of Revelation, we have a record of Jesus declaring that he is the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. That is in Greek in the New Testament. But Jesus would have spoken in Hebrew, which was the mother tongue of the Jewish people. Alpha and Omega, the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet. Aleph and Tav, the first and last letters of the Hebrew alphabet. This word here, ve'et, is the sixth word in this seven-word sentence. Once again, the Aleph and Tav are on view, untranslatable. But we do translate this word and because of the vav at the beginning. Vav is a connecting letter, and we see here how it connects the heavens and the earth. And we see that the spelling of this word, vav aleph tav, are the same letters that make up the word ot. Ot means a sign from God. Ot also means a letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It is no accident that this sixth word in Genesis 1:1 in Hebrew is made up of the same three letters as the word for a sign pointing to Jesus. The next word I'd like to look at is the third of the seven words in this Hebrew sentence. It is the word for God, Elohim. The word is plural in form, but singular in meaning. There are many places in the Old Testament where this word Elohim means gods with a small g, plural. But in this case, it is the word for God, because the verb that precedes it, bara, indicates here that it is meant to be understood as singular. However, the form surely hints to us of the three-in-one nature of the Godhead. Now let's talk about this word, bereshit, in the beginning, and the word next to it, bara, created. The first three letters of Bereshit, Bet, Resh, Aleph, are the same as those of the second word, bara, Bet, Resh, Aleph. Bara means created, but 5 times in the Old Testament the word bara means cut down. And these three letters at the end of Bereshit, if they were separated and stood alone as a word, would mean set in place. Clearly, this verse is saying, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. But we could see a subtext in these first two words, something just out of plain sight that reads created, set in place, cut down. In other words, God created the heavens and the earth, God set them in place, and God has determined to cut them down. And that is not a new revelation. Scripture says that is what God intends to do. He's not going to fix up this fallen world. He's going to destroy it and replace it with a new heavens and a new earth. And how is God going to destroy the heavens and the earth? By fire. Now look at this word Bereshit again. The middle two letters spell Esh, Aleph Shin. Esh means fire in Hebrew. And the 4 letters on either side, Bet, Resh, Yud, Tav, together spell Brit, which means covenant in Hebrew. Do you see that as a subtext below the surface? A covenant of fire. For centuries, rabbis have asked the question amongst themselves, when God gave the Torah, why didn't he make the word for God the first word of the Bible? This word, Elohim, starts with an aleph, the first letter of the alphabet. But Elohim is the third word of the Bible. It would have worked grammatically to have made the first sentence of the Bible start with the Hebrew word for God. But God gave the Torah starting with the second letter of the Hebrew alphabet, bet. As a prefix on a word, bet means in. These 5 letters, reshit, mean what is first. They also mean the choice part, the finest, or first fruits, as in first fruits of a harvest. And the New Testament presents Jesus as the first fruits. Christ has been raised from the dead, the first fruits, and Christ, the first fruits. So we could also read as a subtext, in the first fruits, God, the Aleph Tav, Jesus, created the heavens and the earth. Again, that is not a new revelation, because the Gospel of John tells us all things came into being through Jesus. And in Colossians, by him all things were created. There is more. The letter bet as a pictogram means a house or household. We examined this in session 5. In this first word in the Bible, the first letter and the last 2 letters of the first word spell bait, bet yud tav. Bait means house or household. And the remaining 3 letters in the middle of the word spell rosh, resh aleph shin. And rosh in Hebrew means head. So we have head in the house. The head in the household of God is Jesus. In the book of Hebrews we read, Christ is faithful as a son over God's household. And in 1 Peter we learn that as believers in Jesus, we are being built into a spiritual house for God, Jesus being the head. Finally, in this session, there are 2 Hebrew words for son. One word is ben, bet nun, and the other is bar, bet resh. Both these words for son are in view in Psalm 2. In verse 7 it tells us, the decree of the Lord. He said to me, you are my son. Son in this verse is ben, bet nun. In verse 12 of Psalm 2 we read, do homage to the Son, lest he be angry with you. And son in this verse is bar, bet resh. Now, back to Bereshit, the first word of the Bible. Bet is the second letter of the alphabet, but bet is the first letter in the Bible. The last letter in the Bible, in Greek, in the New Testament, is ni. It is the last letter of the last word in the book of Revelation. Now, I know that Hebrew and Greek are different alphabets, but in both alphabets, this sound is unique. Nun in Hebrew, ni in Greek. So we can say that the first and last letters of the Bible spell ben, son in Hebrew. But the first 2 letters of the Bible also spell son. The first 2 letters of the word Bereshit are bet resh. Bar means son, ben means son. Jesus is the Son of God. All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to him. He is the first, and in him all things hold together.